Hello. Hi, everybody. It is about 10:40 Central Time. So it is, many of you might be working, or some of you guys might be out and about and busy, but hopefully you can catch us when you can catch this. But I'm going to wait not even half a minute just to see if there's anybody who can join before I get started. I won't make you wait too long. Like I said, half a minute, I'm counting in my head. I'm really not counting in my head, I'm just guesstimating. Okay, so, hi, Miss Erickson. How are you, Mamacita? Okay, so I am here to talk to you guys about how you should market your classes. Because I think our terminology is like super important. So thanks to Sam for asking me to kind of talk about this subject. It's kind of one of my favorite areas I would say of maybe expertise, because I do a lot of parties and teach a lot of classes, and it's crucial to your business and your growth. And congrats to all of you guys that are in this group, because that means that your enroller really believes that you're in it to win it, and they think that you have a lot of potential. So kudos to all of you guys. Hi, Sam. Kudos to all of you guys who are in here and who are on this journey and gaining everything, because it is awesome. So I am currently working from my desk, which right now is my office table, with my 2-year-old to the right of me, sadly playing on the iPad, because you know sometimes mom life, you have to do those things to get things done. But I'm super excited to talk to you guys about this, because I think that sometimes people can go through a lot of trial and error and maybe fail sometimes when it comes to this, and it could be because of something so simple is how we name a party and the way kind of like we present it to people. So my name is Danielle, by the way, Danielle Martin, and I am on the same team as Samantha, who's in the group, and a couple of other girls as well. And I hit gold in April, and I was working full time at my job. When I left there, I was executive, and then I hit silver shortly after. So I love Young Living, and I think that there's a ton of potential in the business. And one of the number one things I think that everybody needs to be doing is teaching classes, whether or not it's online or it's in home. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. So here we go. Okay, let's roll. Okay, so your goals should be to have 1 in-home party and I would say 3 online parties per month. If any of you guys have done Game Plan or read it with Sarah Harness, she talks a lot about that, a lot about the importance of it, and often goes and teaches classes. Over the past probably 6 months, I have found myself getting very deep into teaching classes. And one thing that you're going to learn in this business, based on who is on your team with you, I'm just going to kind of keep it real, is you're either going to find yourself having a big handful of leaders that are all about doing exactly what you do and teaching classes and setting up online parties, or you might find yourself becoming the leader and kind of offering up your services to people in order to help them get on board, if that kind of makes sense. And what I mean by that is I plenty of times, and I would encourage you to do it too, is plenty of times I have hosted a 101 online and opened it up to my whole entire team. So Sam and I have done that together, where we do a 101 online, and typically it's common, and if you read Game Plan, for you to be hosting them, personal ones for people that you have as leads. But as we know in this business, we have some people who are hobbyers and some people who are all in it. So as much as you kind of feel like you don't want to have to, like you want them to do that work, long-term, guys, it's kind of okay for you to orchestrate those things and include your team, because a lot can come out of it. So, and that's part of like an online 101. So here is the deal. Yes, teach for, with, and everyone. Yep, exactly. I totally agree. So, and over the past 3 months, I have probably taught maybe, and maybe in like 2 months, probably like 10 classes, which is a lot. And I will tell you that the past 10 that I've taught, none of them have been an in-home party that was like from somebody that it specifically was having it for just me. As a leader, what I like to offer up to my team is to go and host parties for them, meaning that I do the teaching of the parties. Reason why I do this is because some people are nervous to talk to people. I'm not. I'm very energetic. I think that your energy is what is going to gather people's attention. I think it's super important when we're doing this business and when we're talking to people about Young Living that were energized and excited to do it. So I will go and teach it for them. And I also, what I like to do if it's an in-home party for, say, just one of my business girls, is I like to tell them, I'm going to teach your first one for you so you can watch me and kind of see how it goes, and then ongoing, just follow my lead and do what I do. Because what you're doing there is you're kind of like setting that example for them and letting them see what it is that they need to do when they teach a party. So the main reason for this video is something that might seem so little to you guys, but I will tell you that it's so huge. The terminology, okay? Here's an example. So if I have an in-home party, okay, and I am inviting people who are leads of mine, they're currently not using Young Living, okay? I want to introduce Young Living to them, and my end result goal is that when they leave, they purchase their premium starter kit from me, or their ninja kit, or their thieves kit, okay? So I'm going to call the party an introduction to Young Living, okay? I'm not going to call the party a make and take. I think we all know that people get excited and they're more apt to kind of come to things where they know they're going to make something and maybe bring something home for free, and that's okay. You can do those things, but the way that you title it it's a huge factor, you guys. Huge, huge, huge factor. Here's why. So I am Danielle, and I have been invited to come to a essential oils make and take. I'm Danielle. I do not use Young Living oils. I know nothing about them, but the invitation on Facebook tells me that I'm going to go to a make and take, and I'm going to make 3 items, and I'm going to go home. Okay. My mindset is that I'm going to go and I'm going to pay $15, and I'm going to make 3 items, and I'm going to take them home. My mindset is not that I'm going to purchase this premium starter kit and that I'm going to need to mentally be prepared to spend $160 on something. The reason why is because the title of this was a make and take. So I'm thinking I'm going and I'm making something and I'm taking it home. Now, this is what I do, and this is what has always been successful for me, okay? So I call it an introduction to Young Living, but then in my description for the party, I will put that everybody, everyone's coming to be educated on Young Living, and the people who purchase their kit on this day are going to be able to make and take home these 3 items, and then everybody just for coming is going to be able to make 1 item and take it home, if that makes sense. So basically, I've incorporated a make and take in it, but I did not put that in my title, because I know that if I put that in my title, that I may get 10 people to come to my party, but I'm not going to get 10 people to purchase starter kits from me, because I didn't give them that impression that they were going to be buying something like a premium starter kit. So before I do the parties, I will often post in the event talking about the premium starter kit, because I'm putting it in their mind that they're going to come and they're going to learn about this starter kit, and they're going to know the price of it, because I'm going to talk about the price of it before the party starts, because some people can be so intimidated by the $160. So you don't want to shock them with it there at the day of the party. Honestly, you want to talk about it prior to that. So when you create an invitation on Facebook for a party, I encourage you, don't name it a make and take. Even if your plan is to invite some of your current members, that's okay. You can tell them in private messenger, but you need to label your parties an introduction to Young Living, because I'm telling you, if you label all of your parties as make and takes, you're going to end up being upset, because the end result, you're going to go, gosh, I didn't really get anybody to jump on board and purchase a kit. And the reason why is they don't need to. They just came to your party and they walked away with 3 items that they can make and take and try to use. And then what it's doing, it's going to elongate your potential to get that person to purchase their starter kit. So, it may not seem like, hearing it like, wow, that makes sense, it's a big deal, but I'm telling you, it's a huge deal. And I'm telling you this from experience, not from my personal experience, because I've always had a pretty good niche for marketing, because in my prior career full-time, I was in charge of marketing for TGI Fridays, which was a huge, 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 huge company, and I was responsible for a lot, and I know what attracts people. And when you market these types of things, you don't want to make your stuff too lengthy, because people do not want to read novels. You want to keep it short and sweet. You want to keep it to the point. And you also want to make sure that how you title things is going to be attracting to get them to come. And like I said, it is attracting to get them to come by talking about making things and bringing them home, but you don't have to put that in your title. You can put in your title, again, we're creating an event. So we're creating an event, and it is an introduction to Young Living. And then in my description, hi everybody, I am so excited for you guys. I hope for you guys to come so I can introduce Young Living to you and all the amazing benefits. And then, like I said before, I'm going to go into talking about I'm going to introduce you to Young Living's Premium Starter Kit. Everybody who attends is going to be able to make and take one thing home, and anybody who comes and purchases and jumps on board and becomes a member is going to make and take 3 items home. So what did I do? In my terminology, I have put in their head that if they don't buy their premium starter kit, they're only going to make and take home 1 item. And for me personally, I probably am not going to go to a party just to make a sugar scrub and come home. But I already know, okay, she's trying to get me to purchase this starter kit, and I'm going to get to take home 3 items that I can make and use on myself and my family. So wording really, really, really matters, you guys. It's huge. And the difference between the two is this. So at the point where I'm at, I'm trying to kind of switch up what I do, is I ask my members in a monthly newsletter to host parties for me, okay? This is my area of struggle. Now, I can teach classes all over the place, because what happens is my business people, when I offer up to teach for them, they're all about getting a party scheduled, because sometimes people are a little bit more shy and they're afraid to teach in front of people. And that's okay, because if they watch me, they might just get a little bit more comfortable in doing it. You heard Lexi's talking to the iPad, telling it to play her Barbie videos. And then, gosh, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? What was the reason why I started talking about the teaching for my people? What was I saying? Oh, okay. And the difference with the 101 online and the in-home party is this, okay? Make yourself a goal to the month before the month. So this is September, to reach out to 3 people individually, not in a group email, because I have learned that what I'm doing is I'm asking people to host an in-home party for me in a group setting. So I'm asking them in my email, and I'm talking about awesome hostess incentives, but I'm not putting them on the spot in a position where I'm a one-on-one with them, asking them to host a party. So I'm not having big success with getting a response via email to book a party with me. But I know that if I individually ask people, they're not going to tell me no. They're just not going to tell me no, because they're supporting my business as it is, and I've kind of put it on them right through there. So little things like that, you guys, can make a huge, 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 huge difference for you. The reason why I tell you to set a goal of doing one in-home party a month is because the average person knows 2,000 people, okay? So say if you ask Aunt Kathy to host a party for you, and Aunt Kathy invites 6 of her friends, even if it's 3 people, those are 3 people that there are complete strangers to you that can potentially connect you with another 2,000 people, okay? So, and then it's kind of a security blanket in knowing how many enrollments you might get for the month, because most people that come to the party, again, are going to have that mentality that they're going to buy something. This again comes into play with the verbiage of make and take. And the reason why I told you guys I've experienced this, not with myself, I've had many of my business girls do a party, I'm going to have a one-on-one. They tell me I'm going to have a one-on-one to introduce oils, but then they're going and they're calling it a make and take. And I have to explain to them, listen, you're not giving the person that mindset that they're going there to purchase something. You're giving them a mindset that they're coming to your house to kind of hang around and mingle, and then they're going to make a couple things and they're going to go home. So you have to put it in their head before the party. So in your events, you have to talk about the starter kits, talk about the price, talk about the value. That's huge. I feel like some people say that they struggle to close the sale, and I feel like if we're doing what we're supposed to do, which is selling the product and the value of it, we won't struggle to close a sale. I think that's been a huge success factor for me, because if somebody gets surprised by the price of $160, there's 160 ways to use a starter kit. You can swap out this, and that. It's the only item on Young Living's website that you can get at 50% off. And then at all of my parties I bring with me, a while back I created a big recipe list, like a 5-page recipe list that has all recipes that you can make with your starter kit. So either on an online event or an in-home party, we'll read it off and say, okay, and just so you guys know, because I'll say, okay, I know $160 can seem a little bit intimidating to you, but let me tell you why it's worth $160. And then I'm just listing off all these things to them. And then I go in and I say, and you can swap out your body wash. You can swap, and I start listing everything you can make. There's not one person that isn't wowed by that, okay? So if you feel like maybe you struggle with closing the sale, again, terminology, and I probably said a subject, the live terminology, maybe I'll edit it, but it's our terminology and it's what comes out of our mouth. So if you're just I love these oils, I use them all the time, you got to get it. Oh my gosh, it's $160, yes, but they're awesome. And you leave it at that, your people may not trust you as much yet to say, okay, well, I'm just going to listen. But if you reply back in that messenger and you really start talking in depth about everything they can do with it, that sells the 160. If it doesn't sell it for somebody, they're crazy, because that's a lot that you can do. Let me see. So like I said, my personal suggestion to you is just making sure that you have the right verbiage. And also, if you're looking to grow, guys, and you're looking to grow faster, get the parties booked, create some parties online. I will tell you another little tip that I would suggest all you guys do. Facebook is completely overloaded with events. I personally don't even see all the events that I get invited to, because my notifications are crazy as it is, and I miss a lot. So if you invite a bunch of people to an online event, my suggestion to you is to private message them individually. So create a private message to your first person and then copy and paste it to all the next ones and say, hey, how's it going? I hope everything is going great. I know the Facebook notifications nowadays are crazy, so I just wanted to privately message you and let you know that I invited you to a class I'm having on Facebook, so make sure you go ahead and check it out and accept the invite. You're connecting with that person individually. You know they're going to read the message because you're friends with them, and that's a reminder for them that you have invited them to something and you want them to read it. Because I do feel like lately it's been a challenge for people to get a lot of interaction on the online classes, and truthfully it's because of two things. It's because they have too many notifications, so they don't even see your invite. And number two is that they need that like one-on-one connection for you to kind of tell them that you invited them to it. And then if you have somebody who's hosting one for you, I highly encourage you to get the person involved also, and have the person go in the group and say, hey guys, Danielle is awesome. She knows so much about Young Living. You have to make sure to accept the invite. There's going to be giveaways and things like that. So that, because when you're not friends with the people on Facebook, most likely they're not going to be seeing all your posts that you put inside that group, inside that event, or the notifications, because you're not friends with them. And you also need to make the person who is hosting it for you, you need to make them an admin to the event. So kind of take notes on all these little things, because they may seem little, and it may seem like a lot I'm throwing at you, but I'm telling you that your terminology and the way that you market your classes and the way that you do them plays a huge factor in the outcome of them. Something that I'm going to be doing that's a little bit different, I was talking to Sam about, is I am going to start doing some of my one-on-ones in a group opposed to doing it as an event, because I know that in an event I have to hope that people accept my invite, but in a group, when I add them to a group, they're automatically kind of like added in there. Again, I'm not just gonna pull one of those moves where I'm just inviting everybody on my friends list. No, I'm inviting people that have been leads of mine, that have talked to me about essential oils or about Young Living, that have shown interest. And the other thing I would encourage you guys to do at parties too, don't be scared if you just got started. Don't be like, I don't have stuff to start a party. My first couple parties, I had mounds of things, marketing things. You just need your starter kit. You don't need a ton of stuff. But what I would encourage you to bring aside your starter kit is thieves cleaner. And I would also encourage you to bring Ninja Red, and to have some stuff in a frame to talk about it. And the reason why, and another thing too, another little tip I just came up with lately is screenshot a bunch of stuff that you scan on the Think Dirty app, upload it to Walgreens, print them as a 4x6 photo cardstock, go to the dollar store and get yourself a $1 photo album, and make an album. Make an album that is called Think Dirty, and hand that around at your parties, and let people browse through it and let them look at the products that they're using in their home that rate 9s and 10s. This is a simple, easy, super affordable tactic for you to do that can be a huge part of you opening somebody's eyes about what they're using. So a Dollar Tree photo album, taking screenshots of your Think Dirty app, which I need to write that down because it's been on my to-do list for a while. I'm a big write down person. Hold on. Printing them, it's going to cost you like nothing. It's going to cost you $1 for the book. It's going to cost you like, what, 20-something cents for to print a photo, and then bam, and you have that to hand around. So, and again, if you don't have leaders yet, and you're growing your team, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't say leaders, but if you have some people that are doing the business but haven't really grasped that leadership style yet, do as a team 101 events. Get with your team and say, I know you love the flip book stuff, Sarah, too, and it's funny because I actually meant to tell you about that the last time I talked to you, because I know that you're big into Think Dirty like I am, and we still need to go to Target and do that. But offer it up to your team. I remember going through some frustrations and thinking, like, I feel like I'm doing work for everybody, but honestly, guys, it kind of paid off, because when we hosted these large group 101s, basically, the only work I gave the other girls was like adding their people and really marketing it on Facebook. And then the outcome was a ton of enrollments. So sometimes we have to keep in mind that there are people who maybe are hobbyers or don't have as much time. So if you already, it's kind of like a rinse and repeat. If you already have an online script, you're rinsing and repeating. So really you're taking like 15 minutes to go into Censure and upload the class, but then you're opening it up to all the rest of your team. That can be an easy, fast-paced way for you to get your team to grow. I will tell you that this is something that we did a lot throughout the summer and even prior. And in the summer, our team did not take a decline. Shockingly, in the summer can tend to be a time that everyone kind of decreases and things get slow because people aren't in the house as much and they're not using their oils and so on. But that didn't happen for us. We continued to just go. We just continued to continue to go. And I believe that it's because we're setting ourselves up prior to the month, getting classes scheduled, and we're all over it. We're all over it. And for those of you guys that are in here, you're learning so much. And it's a lot to take in, but keep notes, write things down, write yourself something that's going to tell you 3 things that you're going to want to do a day for your business. Make the time and don't find excuses. Talking about excuses is totally off of the subject here, but I think it plays a huge role in how we operate. You have to have an online party scheduled every month, and you really have to get an in-home party. And if you're great at talking in front of people and you're not shy to, teach a class for somebody. Teach a class. We recently went to a local bar, and it's something that we're going to be doing very frequently, and we only had 2 weeks to market it, and we hosted it at 101, and it involved all my business girls. In 2 weeks, we ended up with an outcome of like 35 people who attended it, and it was huge. And I got in front of the class, and I talked all about Young Living. And another thing that I did, which is another little tip, is that I bring with me dryer sheets, I bring with me a candle, I bring wall plugins and all that kind of stuff. And prior to talking, I ask everybody to raise their hands. Okay, who in this room uses candles? Me. Who in this room uses this? Me. Who in this room uses that? Me. And then I open their eyes up, because what you're going to find, you guys, you got to talk more about the oils, and you have to talk about like, hey, what are you using in your home? Because you're going to find the number of people who raise their hand and and say, I use this and I use that. And then when you go, gosh, did you know that the ingredients in this is like a #1 leading cause to